Okay, buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive into a timey-wimey adventure that's more confusing than a toddler's crayon drawing. It all kicks off in 2012 London. Just your average neighborhood, people going about their business, pigeons pecking at crumbs, the usual. Then enter Maeve, our resident neighborhood fortune teller, because apparently those exist. Suddenly, she screeches, "It's happening again," like she just saw a ghost wearing Crocs. Everyone stares at her like she's sprouted a second head. There's no alien invasion, no zombie apocalypse, just a perfectly normal sunny day. Meanwhile, Trish, Maeve's neighbor, has a missing kid poster plastered on her wall. Maeve keeps insisting something weird is snatching children, which wouldn't be so bad if she wasn't pointing at random kids playing hopscotch. Across the street, Chloe, Trish's daughter, is busy serenading the world with a song about a kookaburra, an Australian bird, for those geographically challenged. She finishes sketching a picture of the cute neighbor boy, and poof, he vanishes like my willpower around a dessert tray. Maeve and the boy's dad exchange worried glances, but hey, what can you do when your neighborhood has a teleporting problem? Enter the Doctor, our time-traveling hero with his trusty companion, Rose. They're like space cops, hopping through different time periods to fix messed-up timelines. This time, though, they're just here for the 2012 Olympics, opening ceremony, cheering crowds, the whole shebang. But those missing kid posters catch their eye faster than a free donut. The Doctor, ever the inquisitive fellow, doesn't buy the whole creepy kidnapper in a quiet neighborhood story. He starts poking around, inspecting houses like a suspicious squirrel. Boom. He gets caught by the homeowner, looking about as guilty as a kid with their hand in the cookie jar. Rose, meanwhile, is busy chatting up Kel, the local pothole-fixing enthusiast. Turns out the Olympic torch is making a grand entrance through the neighborhood, because who doesn't love a good flaming stick parade? While all this is going down, the Doctor is busy talking his way out of trouble with Rose and Kel as backup. Maeve and Trish arrive, adding to the general confusion. The Doctor, in a brilliant display of improvisation, whips out a fake police badge, because apparently time travelers do that, and claims he's here to solve the missing children case. When he asks if anyone knows anything, Maeve steps forward with her external force theory. She claims she can feel these kids being whisked away, which is about as helpful as a chocolate teapot in this situation. In the next scene, we see Chloe, a little artist with an attitude. She sees a cat outside, shrugs like, "Been there, drawn that," and shoos her mom away to get back to her sketching. Apparently her walls are covered in more drawings than a kindergarten classroom. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Rose, our time-traveling duo, think space detectives with a serious case of wanderlust, stumble across the same cat and start playing with it. But then, things get cray-cray. Chloe finishes a sketch of the cat, and poof, the feline disappears faster than my savings on a shopping spree. The Doctor and Rose are left staring at an empty box like they just witnessed a magic trick gone horribly wrong. Next up, Rose decides to do some solo sleuthing. She hears a weird noise coming from a house, cracks open the door with all the bravery of a nervous mouse, and gets attacked by a giant, glowy ball of who knows what. Luckily, the Doctor swoops in like a superhero and zaps the ball before it can turn Rose into toast. They take the creepy ball back to their lab and start poking and prodding. Turns out, it's just a fancy pencil scribble brought to life by some science-y stuff called ionic energy. Basically, it's a drawing that got a little too excited about being thrown away. This leads Rose to a wild theory. Whoever's making these sketches can erase or create stuff with their mind. And her prime suspect? Chloe, the moody artist who never steps outside and has a permanent case of bedhead. The Doctor and Rose head to Chloe's house, but her mom, Trish, blocks their way like a nervous guard dog. Trish seems scared, like she's hiding something. The Doctor promises to help Chloe, which convinces Trish to let them in. Turns out, Chloe's been acting like a hermit for months, spending all her time sketching. Trish even throws in a bonus detail. She's happy her husband kicked the bucket a year ago, because he wasn't exactly Mr. Charming. While Trish and the Doctor chat, Rose needs a bathroom break, because even time travelers gotta go sometime. She sneaks upstairs and spots Chloe leaving her room. Rose hides like a ninja, or maybe a particularly clumsy squirrel, and then creeps into Chloe's room. The walls are covered in bizarre drawings, and a creepy voice starts echoing from the closet. "I'm coming!" Rose throws open the closet door, expecting a monster, but instead, she finds a talking drawing. It's a scary-looking creature ripped straight off the wall, and it keeps repeating the same chilling message. Meanwhile, downstairs, the Doctor tries to talk to Chloe, but she just gives him the busy shoulder again. Looks like someone needs a lesson in manners, and maybe a reality check about the dangers of talking wall art. Just then, the doctor hears Rose scream like a banshee and bursts upstairs faster than a kid on a sugar rush. He finds a creepy drawing trying to escape the closet and slams the door shut just in time. Trish, Chloe's mom, shows up looking like a mama bear whose cubs have been messed with. Just then, Chloe throws a curveball. The closet monster is actually her dad, drawn from a dream. Trish is understandably confused, but deep down, even she knows her daughter's been acting like a possessed parrot lately. The doctor and Rose spill the beans about Chloe's artistic kidnapping spree. Kids and animals vanishing thanks to her magic marker of doom. Trish is about as surprised as a fish, discovering it can't breathe air. They head to the kitchen to brainstorm like detectives fueled by questionable coffee. Trish can't understand why Chloe would draw her deadbeat dad, and the doctor explains he's been haunting her dreams because apparently even ghosts need a good therapist. Needing answers faster than yesterday, they head back to Chloe's room. This time, the doctor pulls a magic trick and knocks Chloe out colder than a doornail to chat with the entity using her as a human puppet. The creepy drawing starts talking, whining about not wanting to be alone. Classic single monster blues. Turns out it's an Isolus, a space drifter who travels the cosmos with a family bigger than a Kardashian reunion. 2 months ago, this particular Isolus got separated. Think lost luggage in the spaceport. A big ol' solar flare messed up its pod and sent it on a one-way trip to Earth. Rose and Trish are about as lost as that lost luggage, wondering why the Isolus hijacked Chloe's body. The doctor, ever the expert on weird space stuff, explains these creatures need their family's energy to survive. Separate them for too long, and it's lights out. Apparently, the Isolus befriended Chloe because she's had a rough childhood and is lonely, just like it. On top of that, it made Chloe draw a giant, grumpy version of her late father. Not exactly the picture of family fun. Things go from bad to worse when the Isolus announces its kidnapping spree will continue until it has a family as big as, get this, 4 billion. That's right, folks. Chloe's become a cosmic kidnapper, all thanks to a lonely space drifter with a bad case of separation anxiety. Just to add to the chaos, Chloe's dad ghost starts banging on the closet door like a disgruntled tenant, while Chloe has a full-blown panic attack. Time's ticking, and the doctor needs a plan faster than you can say space pod repair. He tells Trish to do whatever it takes to calm Chloe down. In a moment of pure inspiration, or maybe desperation, Trish starts belting out a kookaburra song, and it works. The ghost shuts up, and Chloe wakes up none the worse for wear, except for maybe a major headache. With Chloe back in the land of the living, the doctor and Rose head out to find the Isolus's busted pod. The plan? Fix that space taxi and reunite the lonely space drifter with its giant, energy-sucking family. Hopefully, with a little TLC and maybe a family therapist, the Isolus will leave Earth's kids and creepy drawings alone. So, we left off with Chloe, our resident stalker artist, following the doctor and Rose like a lovesick puppy, except way creepier. They head back to their lab, which basically looks like a glorified shed with fancy blinking lights, to build a doohickey that can track the alien pod's heat signature. The doctor, with his brain the size of a small planet, or at least that's what he likes to think, whips up this contraption and discovers the pods hiding in the neighborhood, like a spaceship hiding in plain sight. Seriously? Just as they're about to teleport in, because who needs walking when you have fancy portals, Chloe pulls a fast one. She whips out her trusty sketchbook and zaps the doctor into thin air. Poof! Looks like someone wasn't happy with the doctor getting in the way of her kidnapping spree. Now Rose is left holding the sonic screwdriver, whatever that is, and facing the crisis alone. Talk about a girl's night gone wrong. Rose hits the streets like a detective on a sugar rush, searching for clues. Hours pass, and she's about as successful as a lost sock in a dryer. Then, a light bulb brighter than the doctor's ego goes off in her head. Remember that alien pod needs heat to repair itself, right? So, it must be hiding in the neighborhood's hottest spot. Enter Kel, the local pothole-fixing enthusiast. Rose sweet-talks him into revealing where he dumped a bunch of hot tar recently. Armed with an axe, Rose starts digging like a crazed mole. And guess what? She finds the pod. High five for Rose. Meanwhile, back at Casa Chloe, our little artist watches the Olympics opening ceremony unfold on TV. Thousands of people packed into a stadium. What could be better inspiration for a kidnapping sketch, right? She starts drawing the entire stadium because apparently subtlety isn't her forte. Rose bursts back in with the pod, ready to save the day, but it's too late. Poof. 80,000 people vanish from the stadium faster than toilet paper during a pandemic. The news explodes with this story, and the pressure's on. But the Isolus isn't satisfied yet. It demands Chloe sketch the entire Earth, because apparently, world domination is on the menu for this lonely space drifter. Rose tries to intervene, but the creepy entity inside Chloe threatens to materialize and cause all sorts of trouble. Just when all hope seems lost, a miracle happens. A sketch on the wall starts moving. It's the Doctor. Even while being kidnapped, this guy manages to send a message. He points to the Olympic torch in the drawing. At the same time, the TV shows the torch relay approaching their neighborhood. The reporter gushes on about the torch being a symbol of hope, integrity, and love. A light bulb goes off in Rose's head. Not as bright as the Doctor's, but hey, it works. The Doctor wants her to throw the pod into the torch. Love is the only thing that can fix this mess, apparently. She rushes outside and joins the crowd waiting for the torch relay. Seizing her moment, she hurls the pod into the air, and it lands perfectly in the torch. The Isolus inside Chloe realizes its spaceship is about to be repaired, and decides to head home. Good riddance. So, Chloe ditches the space monster roommate and gives her mom a hug that would suffocate a lesser mortal. Meanwhile, the other kidnapped kids reappear like confused zombies after a rave, and even Wembley Stadium magically fills back up with bewildered spectators. Rose celebrates with Kel, the pothole fixing enthusiast, but the party's on hold because the Doctor's still missing. Just as Rose contemplates hiring a search party for a time-traveling goofball, a scream pierces the air like a banshee on helium. Turns out, the space drifter left a parting gift. A creepy leftover energy blob. This blob escapes the closet, traps Chloe and her mom inside the house, and throws a tantrum fit for a toddler denied a lollipop. Rose, ever the resourceful one, realizes this monster is basically a glorified dust bunny. She hatches a plan so ridiculous it just might work. Sing the Kookaburra song, loud and obnoxious. Chloe, shaking like a leaf in a hurricane, starts belting it out, with her mom joining in like a slightly off-key backup singer. Believe it or not, it works. The energy blob gets scared off and retreats back to its gloomy dimension, never to bother a little girl and her sketchbook again. Meanwhile, across town, the Olympic torch relay takes a dramatic turn. The poor guy holding the flaming stick looks like he's run a marathon while juggling flaming chainsaws. Just as he's about to stumble into Wembley Stadium, he collapses like a deflated birthday balloon. Then, in a move that would make a magician jealous, the Doctor pops out of thin air, snatches the torch, and marches towards the stadium like he owns the place. The crowd goes wild, cheering for the unexpected hero with the slightly singed eyebrows. The Doctor, basking in the applause because, let's face it, he loves the attention, climbs the stadium steps and lights the Olympic flame. We see the pod finally recharge, ready to whisk the space drifter back to its cosmic family reunion. The movie ends with a bang, literally, thanks to the Olympic torch, and a sigh of relief from everyone. Except maybe the Doctor, who still has to explain how he got trapped in a drawing.